Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for Krem2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Tom is off today. We do want to get right to our top story of the day. A fire tore through two Browns Edition apartment buildings overnight, killing 2 people and forcing others from their homes. And now Spokane police are investigating the fire as a homicide. Tonight,
Krem2's Amanda Rowley shares the latest on those who narrowly escaped with help from Good Samaritans. Amanda?
Mark and Whitney, the 2 people who died in the fire early this morning here in Browns Edition actually lived on the top floor of Tiffany's Manor, right here next to Coeur d'Alene Park. Now, those who did escape from the fire say they never heard the fire alarm actually go off. Now, that's including Brandy Tealberg's family, who lived on the bottom floor. Her family and the neighborhood spent all morning searching for her white Chihuahua, Sean Onions. He ran away once they got outside to safety. Now, just before noon, I heard Brandy cry out, but they were happy tears because she was finally reunited with her dog. Someone found him crouched under a car near the apartment complex. He ran straight to her, and that is when her fear for the worst vanished.
We lost him at 3 when we evacuated our apartment, and I thought he was gone forever, and it's the only thing I cared about.
I told you he would be here. We looked everywhere.
I feel like everything's gonna be fine now.
I know, that's what I felt the same way.
Yeah, we got our whole family back.
Brandy says that she and her neighbors, as I mentioned, never heard their fire alarm go off this morning. Instead, 3 people who do not live in the apartments woke her family up by pounding on their windows. Hattie Lynn Balcom is one of those people, and the families here today are calling her and those friends heroes.
On the second balcony, there was a girl that didn't want to jump, so I was just trying to, like, come on, you gotta jump, and I put my bags down so maybe she would land on the bags, and she finally jumped after I talked her into it. And then on the side of the building, there's windows, and so I started pounding on windows and I guess trying to break them, but then people were starting to come to the windows because they were sleeping through it.
Now, Hattie Lynn says she was with her boyfriend and his friend walking by the park when they saw the smoke this morning. She told me without even thinking twice, they all ran to the building and started yelling and pounding on windows to wake people up. Now, today, Red Cross has been on scene here working with people, helping them get connected with resources. They do tell me that there is not a shelter set up for the families affected by the fire this morning. Instead, they are providing families with preloaded debit cards and connecting folks with financial resources. So if you know someone that is not able to stay here tonight, if you have family and you need a place to stay, the Red Cross is asking you to connect with them by calling the number 1-800-RED-CROSS. Again, that number is 1-800-RED-CROSS, and they will connect you with the local Red Cross folks and get you the assistance you need. Reporting in Browns Edition tonight, Amanda Rowley, Krem2 News.
Amanda, thank you very much. And winds have whipped up a new wildfire that started near the town of Ford. It's now grown to more than 5,000 acres.
The Ford Corkscrew fire started yesterday afternoon and has rapidly blown up due to what fire crews report as extreme fire behavior. The fast-spreading fire forced immediate evacuation.
Krem2's Ian Smay is live near the town of Ford tonight. Ian, it sounds like you spoke with homeowners who almost lost their house in this fire.
Yeah, I'm standing near the driveway of that couple, and they told me earlier that they watched as the fire burnt down a barn on their property, and they took photos as the flames from that fire took over. And the last update from fire officials has the blaze estimated at 5,000 acres, but they say it is likely grown by a couple thousand more by now. And for some context, if it has grown that much, it's now about twice the size of Cheney. Fire officials say barns, sheds, and at least one abandoned home have been lost so far. Now, this fire started near the town of Ford yesterday afternoon, and earlier today I spoke with one couple who nearly lost their house as the flames started to spread.
Well, it was pretty wild. We got lucky. I mean, really, it was like a matter of perfect timing. We almost lost the house, the shop, the whole neighborhood.
Now, those two, along with another family, said the community came to help them protect their house as the flames began to spread. And as of a couple hours ago, the fire was still at 0% containment, according to fire officials. The cause is also under investigation at this time. Now, there are multiple agencies fighting this fire, including units from the Department of Natural Resources, the Spokane Tribe of Indians, and local agencies from Spokane and Stevens County. There are also airplanes and helicopters battling the blaze. Coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight, I'll have more from that couple who almost lost their home yesterday. For now, back to you guys.
All right, Ian, thank you very much. And now we want to take a closer look at the evacuation orders for that Ford Corkscrew fire. Everything in red is a level 3 evacuation order, which means those people need to be gone right now. That applies to the entire area of Airport Way to Olson Road to Casburg Burroughs Road. A level 3 evacuation area also in place for State Route 231 Sanctuary Way to Bald Mountain to Scotts Valley Road, Corkscrew Canyon, and Hidden Road West.
So everything in orange is under level 2, meaning prepare to leave. Level 2 evacuations are in place for the area of Ford to Kurt's Corner to the north end of Reservation Road and around Loon Lake, west of William Valley Road and south of Caseburg Burroughs. The area in yellow is under a level 1 evacuation, meaning get ready.
The Spokane County Sheriff's Office is asking people boating on Long Lake to avoid the area between Tum Tum and the Long Lake Dam.
Crews helping fight the fire, the Ford Corkscrew fire, are retrieving water from the area and are having difficulty due to boats in the way, they say. Authorities are asking you to avoid the area for the rest of today and for tomorrow. Now to some more breaking news. Level 3 go now evacuations in place for residents living between Scotty Dog Lane, Pine Meadows Lane, and Hanson Pond Lane in Cheney due to a house fire that spread to become a brush fire. There is an immediate threat to residents living in that area, authorities say. We do have a crew on the way to the scene, and we'll have more updates just as soon as we get them into our newsroom.
And for the latest on wildfires burning across the inland Northwest, just text the word FIRE to 509-448-2000 and we'll send you the links with all of that information right to your phone. In the meantime, we want to kind of shift gears. We're talking about high winds definitely fueling some of these fires. So we want to turn our attention now to Thomas Patrick, who's been kind of tracking those winds as it pertains to the rest of today. Thomas?
Yeah, absolutely. Those winds have been gusting in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range. And while most of the bad air quality is cleared out, these smoke plumes from these fires are easily visible on the radar, both that Ford Corkscrew fire and that new brush fire that is east of Cheney. So we're tracking that. But yeah, those winds generally out of the west-southwest at around 20-25 miles per hour. In fact, that's about the observation we have in Spokane at the moment. 91 degrees. Thankfully, this will be the hottest day of this week as we have some big changes that are on the way. Our air quality has gotten better, save for areas in northeastern Washington and far north Idaho where it's still unhealthy to unhealthy for some. But actually here in Spokane, we're actually reporting good air quality at the moment, which is a marked improvement from most of last week. High temperatures tomorrow. Look at this. 72 and even some 60s. These are the highs for tomorrow, almost 20 degrees cooler. So obviously we have a big weather change that is going to take place both tonight and for tomorrow. And it's not just the temperatures. We got a good chance at some rain and thunderstorms, at least of the scattered variety. So coming up, going to be timing out this next weather system and show you how long this cooler weather is going to last for this week.
Looking forward to 70s, Thomas. Thank you very much. We do want to take one more look at our air quality right now. As Thomas mentioned, Spokane's air quality index right now is 36, which is in the good range. That's the first time we've seen air this clear in several days now. For the latest AQI numbers plus resources to check the air quality, just text the word AIR to 509-448-2000.
Another big story today. U.S. officials admit Afghanistan fell much quicker than they anticipated.
This comes as the Taliban took control of Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, yesterday. Now President Biden is addressing the situation as the U.S. scrambles to evacuate American civilians and Afghan allies. The U.S. has already deployed 2,500 troops to help evacuation efforts, and that number could go as high as 6,000. A spokesman says up to 5,000 people per day can be evacuated.
We have actually been working to evacuate thousands and thousands of Americans over time. Now it's about determining who is left and who didn't heed those warnings along the way.
President Biden is still defending the decision, though, to move forward with the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan.
I stand squarely behind my decision. After 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces. If anything, the developments of the past week reinforced that ending U.S. military involvement in Afghanistan now was the right decision. American troops cannot and should not be fighting in a war and dying in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves.
Today, at least 7 are dead and many others were injured in the chaos at the Kabul International Airport. You're looking at video of thousands of residents at the airport early this morning. They were rushing in, hoping to get a flight to flee the country. In an effort to escape the Taliban capture, some held on to an American military jet as it took off. The Afghanistan Civil Aviation Authority suspended all civilian flights at the Kabul International Airport, and the ACAA has called on the people to avoid crowds at the airport. The U.S. military and other Western forces continue to organize evacuations.
In the meantime, local lawmakers are now weighing in on the events unfolding in Afghanistan. Washington's Eastern Washington Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers, she took to Twitter today saying in part, "As we watch the Taliban reclaim control of the region, my heart aches for those who served in this war and are in pain. We must never forget their willingness to make whatever sacrifice was necessary."
In the thread of tweets, she went on to say, quote, "The events happening as a result highlight a lack of American leadership at a time when we need it most," unquote.
And the Spokane City Council they're voting on another measure that could move the push to add fluoride to our water systems, and that could move it forward.
Casey Decker has been following this story for nearly a year now. And Casey, what do we know right now?
Yeah, guys, the City Council have already accepted a $4 million grant to get that fluoridation process underway, but that doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. I'll explain why and where exactly we are in that process in just a few minutes.